Sixers Knicks. Game 1 tomorrow, 6 Eastern in that slot just ahead of Lakers Nuggets. What a night for NBA fans watching television. Knicks 3-point home favorite in game 1, but the series is a pick'em. So, Paul, who wins this series?
I got the 76ers. I think when you got 2 of the top 3 players in the series, it's to your advantage. And Sixers have the best player in this series, which is Joel Embiid. Second best player in the series is going to be probably Brunson, then Maxey. So I just feel more confident that the Sixers will get the W. Not only the W, but win the series. I think they're a better team. I think they're a deeper team. I think they have better overall players. Not to take anything of what the Knicks have done. They're coached well. They have grit and grind players. But I just think ultimately the talent of the Sixers will take over and win this series in 6.
Yeah, I got them in 6, too. I got the Sixers in 6. Clearly, they got the best player on the floor, Joel Embiid. They don't have an answer for him.
As long as he's on the floor?
Yeah, but you guys are making it sound like this dude going to walk out on the and just knee going to just fall from underneath him. I mean, I understand he's been hurt, but he just got back. So I'm willing to say and willing to go out on a limb and say, hey, I think for the next month and a half, he'll be healthy. We're not talking about an entire season here. We're talking about a short little window before he gets to the Celtics. Averaging 35 points a game this year, 11 boards. They don't have an answer.
They don't.
For that. I mean, obviously, Jalen Brunson can give you 40 on any given night. But at the same time, you just cancel that out with Maxey. Just cancel him now. Now you just got Embiid. Now what you going to do? And then Kelly Oubre and the rest of the crew that they have. I mean, Batum. Oh,
You're laughing at Batum.
I'm not laughing at Batum. Batum was a factor. I'm not laughing at him.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's an X factor.
And just like Tibbs can coach, I think a guy who won a championship as a coach, and Nick Nurse can coach as well. So you just kind of, you know, the Knicks is a hostile, sort of kind of like a hostile environment to play in. Because the fans are right on top of you. But I don't think that's going to factor into Philadelphia, although they've got the 3-1 up on them, but Embiid didn't. You know, Embiid only played in one of those 3 games. So, you know, you look at that and you say, well, this season they kind of beat up on the 76ers. Well, without the big dog, yeah. But now that he's rounding into shape, I got the Sixers walking away with this one.
In
6.
All right, I'm going to start with Jalen Brunson because he amazed me this year with the numbers he put up. He was a career-high 29 a game. He was a career-high 7 assists a game.
Wait, what? 29? Yeah, I didn't know he had that. Yeah.
He was...
If I said he could give you 40.
He was 40% from 3. That'll work. And he was a career-high 85% from the free throw line. That'll really work. Those are MVP caliber numbers for a team that went 50 and 32, which that's pretty great. And they just kept climbing and climbing at the end of the year until they wound up the 2 seed. Well, it's a beautiful thing to watch until you look at their history. And I look at the Knicks the way you look at the Clippers. By the way, we all look at the Clippers is with the Knicks, I know they won that 1 championship back in the Stone Age, back there with Phil Jackson coming off the bench for them. But there's always something that goes wrong for the Knicks. It's like just always something. I love Spike Lee. I love it. But it just always goes wrong. Something's going to happen. How many games did you win against the Knicks? How many series did you win against the Knicks? You just did because that's what they do.
But have they ever really had, outside of the 90s, that I could think of, a core group that was like that?
No, they was good. They had Melo, Stoudemire, and J. Kidd. They had Melo, Stoudemire, and J. Kidd.
That'll work.
Yeah.
For a while.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
They went. I think, either second round or conference finals. I'm not 100%. They put us out the playoffs.
But again.
Oh, they did.
They did. Outside of last year in 2000.
Outside of the Patrick Ewing years, did they ever really have? And Patton was obviously running into Chicago and stuff like that. But have they really ever had, as an organization, a group of guys that was like that as a group?
But they had Oak and Anthony Mason.
That was a group of dudes that was like that.
Yeah.
So when people start saying, well, there's something always going wrong with them, I'm like, I think that the New York part of it is the yeast effect and the hype and the. You played at Madison Square Garden. Yeah. Is it a normal arena or is it something special about it?
No, it's something special.
Well, tell me, because I didn't play in it. I went there, but I don't.
I mean, it's the lighting on the court is a little different than a lot of other players.
Okay.
I mean,
how different?
It's lit up like almost like a theater.
Yeah.
You know, most arenas you go, bright lights, but in Madison Square Garden, all the lights
like a stage
are on the court.
Okay.
And there's no lights on the crowd, so it looks like
it's dark around the crowd.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
So it gives you that stage feel.
Okay.
You don't get that around a lot of NBA arenas. Then you got the obvious celebrities that come, that show up. So it just feels like center court is the stage.
Okay.
It just gets your adrenaline flowing. That's why all the great players have great games in Madison Square Garden, because you feel like you're actually performing on the stage, on a real live stage. And I mean, it's something you really can't explain. I don't know if they had something like this in football, where there's just a field that you just was like.
Yeah, there's the Green Bay, Green Bay, Chicago, historical places like that where you feel.
It's like you felt different.
Yeah.
It felt different walking in.
Yeah.
Okay. I just say, everybody always telling me how great Madison Square Garden is, and I used to go to games. I'm like,
it's just you
it's
feel
cool,
the energy
but I
of
don't,
the crowd. It's the aura of it, and I know they don't have a rich tradition, but it's the Mecca.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You're in the city of New York, and you figure the most knowledgeable basketball people on planet Earth probably come from New York. That's what I mean.
So it's all that narrative, that
history of like street ball in New York and just playing in New York.
Okay.
In Madison Square Garden, where so many superstars not only played sports but performed, boxed, or did certain things, and you're actually in there amongst all of that greatness.
Okay.
It just gives you chills walking in there, because you know what type of people have been in and out.
Well, it ain't worked for the Knicks though. That's the whole thing. It ain't really worked for them like that though. It never worked.
And so this boils down to me that as great as Jalen Brunson was in the regular season, in the end, in your game, height matters. And he's 6'2", and there's only so much you can do at 6'2" to impact the game.
I thought he was much shorter than that.
You are 6'7", and it's huge. Luka is 6'7". It's just it's a big difference when you have that capability. You look at Bird and Magic at 6'9", it just matters.
It does matter.
Right? Okay. So I only think Jalen Brunson can take them so far, and I'm with both of you, 6 games. Joel has to be right, or at least he has to pick his spots, as he did late in the game the other night when, with 3 minutes left, he just said, I got this. And he took it over, and that was the end of that deal. And I think he can do the same thing, because they don't have Julius Randle, obviously, and I don't think Hartenstein or however you say it, and Mitchell Robinson, I just don't think they can deal with Joel.
No.
Right?
No, but and I always said this, it's tough to win in the NBA if your point guard is your best player.
Yeah.
Unless you're an all-time great. When you look at the list, Magic, of course he was 6'9", but
he still was running the point.
Yeah, he's still a point guard. You got Isaiah Thomas, you got Steph Curry. I mean, these is all-time greats.
Yep.
Now, you can argue, Chauncey Billups, maybe, or Rip Hamilton or Rasheed.
Yeah.
But if your point guard is your best player, it's tough to win in the NBA, especially a championship. Now, you can get through a regular season. We've seen a Kyrie-led team, and how we feel about Kyrie. They just haven't gone far with him as the best player. You have to be an all-time player. So you need that perimeter guy who's about 6'7", 6'8", to where if he's not scoring, he can affect the game on defense, his rebounding, assists. He could do so many different things. Now, you could develop a game plan to stop Jalen Brunson at 6'2". You can trap him. You can get the ball out of his hands.
Man, is he really 6'? He looks smaller than 6. Maybe because he's around all
listeners, you know what? That's a good point. He may be closer to 6'1".
He's just around all them trees, too, though, so he looks smaller.
Now, it's tough to develop a game plan to stop a guy like Joel Embiid, who's 7 feet, big, can shoot off the dribble, inside, outside. You could say we could trap him, but we saw Miami Heat trap him. He figured it out late in the game what he needed to do to be effective. He got on the offensive rebound. He found some guys open for a late game assist.
Yep.
And so,
is that because a smaller guard?
Listen, if he's not scoring, how can he affect?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Especially from a scoring guard. He's 29 a game. So if his shot is off that night, you can't, he's not a versatile defender to where he can have a super impact on defense. He's not a great rebounder, to where he can, like, get you 16 boards in a critical game.
And he becomes, I'm sure, becomes a
he's not a
liability
high
on
assist
defense.
guy like Magic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's hard if they're not scoring to have an effect on the game. So
Well, as great as Allen Iverson was, he did get that one team to the finals, but that's as far as they got.
Yeah, they won the one game, man.
But Allen was an extraordinary scorer.
Oh,
He
was
wasn't
he?
the same. I mean, Brunson is a great. Allen was a different. We're never gonna see nothing like that ever again. So,
Bubba Chuck was cold.
All right, it's that time. It's Friday. We're getting close to 11:30 Eastern.